Hello, my name is Pastor Jimba Alex, and you're looking at the world globe. That's the world globe. But the topic for today is 85% of the whole world is made up of darkness and sadness. I say it again. The topic for today on Gospel Faith Television UK is 85% of the world is full of darkness and sadness, or 85% of the world is made up of darkness and sadness. So before I go into this topic, I'd like to explain to you, or I'd like to give you the definition of what darkness really means. And the definition of darkness that I found through my research is darkness means that we live in a world that is not fair. So it means psychologically or physically in this world, people are not really fair to one another. But people have got this way of making themselves look like it's all right, it's all good, everything's going to be all right. But deep down, people are not fair to one another in this world. Also, another definition for darkness could mean that we live in a world that is full of depression and miseries. So it means that a lot of people you see in the world today, they look glamorous and they look extravagant and they look very good. They're very appealing to the eye. They're very eye candy. But you can't judge a book by its cover. Underneath it all, there's depression and there's miseries. In terms of sadness, I want to give you a definition of sadness as well. I'll say that the definition of sadness means that we live in a world that is full of sorrow. Look at the world. It's a great world with different countries, but if you're looking at it from the external, everything's okay. Of course, when you're looking at it from the external, of course everything is okay. But having said that, there's a lot of sadness in the world. So you can't see a human being, a specific human being or an individual and say, oh, he's sad. You can only know that he's sad unless he showed it to you. So I'm saying to you that the topic for today is 85% of the world that we live in is made of darkness and sadness. And I'm saying to you that the definition of sadness is that we live in a world that is full of sorrow and unhappiness. You won't see it. Have a look around there, cameraman. Show around there. Like, there's a lot of people down there. You can see people. They walk. How can you tell? The buildings. Show the buildings. The buildings are beautiful. Yeah, but if I was to say to you that there's a lot of sadness, you can't see it from the outside. So, 85% of the world that we live in is made up of darkness and sadness. And this is something that we can't measure with a ruler or a tape to see if there's any sadness in the world, to see if there's any darkness in the world. Because sadness and darkness is not something that is physical. If someone is horrible, or if someone is nasty, it might not show on the outside. So we cannot measure this with a tape or a ruler and bring the evidence and say, oh, this is what I found. Oh, there's so much negativity over there, or there's so much negativity over there. We cannot measure the amount of sadness or darkness with a tape or a ruler, because these things are mainly psychological and spiritual. And this is one of the reasons why after God created the world, God made a bold statement. And God said, let there be light. The reason why God said let there be light is because when God created the world was void. Void means empty. And the world was full of darkness. But God said, let there be light, so that all the darkness and all the sadness in this world will be exposed. That's why God said, let there be light. 85% of the world that we live in today is made up of darkness and sadness. And God said, let there be light. Because God knows that this world that He created, there's a lot of hidden things in the world that the eyes can't see. That's what I'm talking about. 85% of the world that we live in today is made up of sadness and darkness. And one of the characteristics of sadness and darkness also is jealousy. There's a lot of jealousy in the world. So because someone is smiling with you, or because someone is showing you their teeth, that doesn't make them your friend. If I say to you, draw me a diagram or draw me a picture of jealousy, can you draw me a picture of jealousy? No one's ever seen jealousy before. But jealousy resides in this world that we live in. It does reside in this world that we live in. So that's why I said 85% of the world that we live in today is made up of darkness and sadness. Jealousy is a part of darkness. But no one sees jealousy. People see the outcome of jealousy. So that's why I'm shedding a light upon these dark secrets, upon these secrets full of darkness and these secrets full of sadness. I'm shedding a light upon it. And this is probably why Jesus said, I'm the light of the world, because He exposes these things. You don't see people when they're having destructive meetings in the dark. You don't know what people are saying about you as an individual. You don't know what people are plotting. So because you see someone walking on the street and they're talking nicely, does that make them a nice person? No, it doesn't. This is why God said that He is interested. God said that He is interested on the inside. God is interested in your soul and your spirit. God is not interested in your flesh. Because people are having destructive meetings. How did COVID come into this world? We don't know. But what we do know is that it's brought us a lot of sadness. What we do know is that it's brought us a lot of darkness. If there was a meeting that was had anywhere in the world before COVID came to this world, do we know? We don't know that. The world is full of envy. 85% of this world is made up of darkness and sadness. Too much envy in the world. Envy is a tool of the devil. People walk around in their hearts with too much envy, darkness. So much hate in the world. So much fake people in the world. This is all part of the darkness that I'm talking about. So many non-achievers in the world, and they're secretly angry. They're secretly angry. People would do anything legal to become a success. Darkness wasn't always in the world. Sadness wasn't always in the world. But it's because of the way people behave. And people are trying to do illegal things. This is what's caused the sadness in the world. They're trying to achieve things that don't even belong to them. They're trying to go too fast. So much sadness in the world. So much fake smiles. Part of the darkness, man. That's why Jesus Christ himself, he didn't even know who to trust. I don't know who to trust. I look up to my God. And I know one day, God will show me the way. It's only God that I look up to. Because there's no darkness in God. There's no sadness in God. So much darkness in the world, so much sadness in the world, so much pain in the world. Hidden pain. A lot of people are going to their doctors and the doctors have even given up on them. A lot of people are so rich in the world today, but it's all, what's the word? There's a word I'm looking for. It's all plutonic. They've got all the material things in the world, but inside there's so much pain. They're living in darkness. You don't even know how they made their money. That's what I'm talking about. Cameraman, how many minutes is this? 3 minutes left. So much pain in the world. We live in a world where I could even say there's no more love in the world. All the love in the world is gone. If there was love in the world, why would Jesus Christ have to come to the world in the first place? Jesus Christ came to the world because the world is full of darkness and sadness. You could see. That's what attracted him all the way from heaven to come to this world in the first place. There was no love in the world. So much prejudice in the world. This is all part of the darkness and sadness. So much prejudice in the world. You see somebody you don't know, you've judged him already. Oh, he is this, he is that. You're not even giving the man a chance. Speak to the man first. God doesn't like prejudice. So much evil in the world. And that's why I was thinking about this. And one day I was praying to God, and God said to me, Pastor Jimba Alex, go and make a video and title it 85% of the world is made of darkness and sadness. Cameraman, you like my trainers? What do you think? Yeah, that's it, man. So cameraman, how many minutes is it? 15? One more minute. Yeah, so I'm just saying that this is part one of my first video, which is called 85% of the world is made up of darkness and sadness. You've been watching Pastor Jimba Alex on Gospel Faith Television UK. I'm going to end it here, part one, but you're going to catch me on part two. Peace.